I get a lot of, I don't know, I won't call it hate, but people say grays are just demons. Okay. Can we agree that demons live in another dimension, interdimensional? Can we agree with that, everybody? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
another dimension creature, demons, UFOs, aliens, whatever you want to talk about.
Ghost, or sometimes they're referred to being in another dimension.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, man, that's a great point, dude. That's a really great point right there. What you were talking about. Yeah,
I
and
think,
yeah,
yeah, I think the amount of dread that they
mhm.
give people who actually encounter them is very similar to the amount of dread if someone's waking up on a slab
Yeah.
on a ship. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh
And
yeah.
seeing these things. Okay.
Yeah.
And you make a good point about these grays. And you know, there's several races, but the grays, let's talk about them specifically.
Mhm.
The grays are, they're confounded by the fact that we are containers for souls,
Yes,
apparently.
that's a better way to put it. Yes,
Yeah, so
emotional.
they and that's what they say. As a matter of fact, uh who's that guy I'm trying to think of? There's the first real whistleblower that came out. They just did a, oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. Anyway, he says that there's a book. It's a thick book, basically,
Mhm.
that talks about the fact that they want to find out. One of the reasons why they're experimenting with us is they want to find out, how are we holding these souls in this container?
Mhm.
Why do we have this?
Yep.
Do cows have soul? You know, they're trying to figure this out. It's confounding them. And there's so many, I mean, we can go into so many vectors in this, because one of the things is they're saying that our souls are in a prison here on Earth.
Yeah.
That this is a continuous prison. That
Yeah.
we get, the reincarnation is real,
Mhm.
and when we die, it sends us right back to this Earth prison to do all this
Yeah.
other stuff that we have to do. So I mean,
No.
yeah, they are.
No.
They don't know why we're containers for souls, and they want to know. They want to explain that. They want to understand it.
Yeah.
Why can't they have that? What's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I did an episode on that, man. Exactly what you're talking about? The moon being a soul catcher, based on Matilda, the flight nurse that took care of EB, what she called him,
Yes.
with EB out there in Roswell.
Yeah.
And he was telling us that he told her that, this is basically a prison planet. And I'm a Christian, and I get a lot of shots fired at me from the Christian community as well as the non-believer community, because I'm also
Yeah.
well versed in the Sumerian tablets, the Anunnaki, Nibiru,
Ooh,
and things like that.
nice.
And this book over my shoulder right here is the
Mm-hmm.
54. It's the 54 book of Apocrypha. It was the 54 books taken out of the Christian Bible, and it contains the book of Enoch. And the book of Enoch is the Sumerian. It is Nibiru. It is the same story. It's the same story
Mhm.
told from from a spiritual standpoint, and it's the same story told from a, basically a science fiction novel. When the Sumerian tablets talk about the Anunnaki who came down, meddled with our DNA, and created us.
Yeah.
Genesis, the book of Enoch is supposed to come after the book of Genesis. And in the book of Enoch, God, everything in existence was spoken into existence. The only thing God made with his hands is us. And God said, let us take man and make him in our image, referring that there was already something here as a man, and they made him into our image. It's the same story.
Yeah.
And in those stories, I have a theory about the snake in the Garden of Eden wasn't a snake. It was a Draco. It was some type of reptilian life form that was actually speaking, right? And that's why.
Ooh.
And so, and every single ancient society has a word. You can go look this up, Enigmites, for a shape-shifting reptile that can take on human form. The Naga, they have it in Peru, all over. The Japanese have it all over the globe, right? And so, to roll this back into it, about how, and this is all going to come back to the black-eyed kids here right now. Roll that back into what we're talking about. Is that to keep us from ascending to a higher level so they could study us, they know that we have souls, and they bounce that soul back to Earth, and we're instantly reincarnated into the bodies that we're in. And
Yeah.
it leads into if you read the Sumerian tablets, it says that Enki put 12 or 13 different types of superior extraterrestrial DNA into us. That the reason why we're so valued, and even the Bible will say that we're wonderfully and fearfully made. Enlil got mad at Enki in the Sumerian tablets because he said, you made them too strong. They have the potential to overtake us one day. And that's why we're trapped here. And that's why we never we can never evolve. And that goes right back into what you're saying. It's our soul. Our soul is completely baffling to these Hanuman's or whatever, right? So yeah, man, great, man, Dayvid, man, you're worth the
Thank you, sir. Back at you, sir.
You're worth the $20, man. You're worth that $20, bro. Good job, man. Nah,
so yeah, there are people that say that the Anunnaki created the religions so that we would be controlled. As some people go further and say that the Anunnaki, that's God. And they say that they're coming back, just like people believe Jesus is coming back. They say that they're on their way back.
Yep.
And you think about it, the way they altered the Bible, the way they pulled books out, the way they changed words, the way they like, for example, my favorite one is when they say in the Bible, you must fear God. It's an incorrect translation. It's not fear. Why would you fear a loving being? You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not fear God, it's respect God. That's the correct translation, is respect. Which, of course, you should have a healthy respect for something that created you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
no, and again, and like I said, man, we'll on our next episode, I'll bring you back and we'll go into some deep. Like I get in a lot of trouble, man, because like I can show you how we're Catholicism, and like again, I say this all the time, Enigmites, but people are just finding me. There's plenty of good people that are Catholics. There's plenty of good people that are Freemasons. But when you get to a certain point, you're in something that you don't think you're in, right? And so we can Mystery Babylon, all that stuff, we can get down to it. But yeah, bro, that alien hybrid theory, man, I haven't heard of that before. That is an excellent, well postulated theory right there, man.
Thank you, sir. Finally, someone that actually knows what they're talking about. See, I've searched and searched for this. I was thinking, well, they did bring that. Okay, so Men in Black, it's possible alien, whatever. But no one has ever said this. Has ever said it's possible that these are the hybrid children of Earthlings and possibly gray aliens, right?
Yeah.
Could be.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. No, that's very well.
Look at the eyes, baby.
Yeah, look at the
You're
eyes.
black,
right?
just like the gray aliens. Come on now.
Yeah.
2 and 2. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, I'm gonna have to think on that, man. That's a good one. That's really good. So check this out, bro. I'm gonna tell you this story too. So I'm gonna tell you that the two person removed story that I'm about to tell you, right? So I grew up in Upper East Tennessee. My aunt, who watches my show, what's good, GG? My aunt watches my show. She was a regional bank manager for several banks in Upper East Tennessee. And Upper East Tennessee consists of the following towns. And all you Upper East Tennessee guys, here's your shout out, man. Johnson City, Bristol, Kingsport, Jonesboro, Gray. There's this place called Irwin. If I left you out, you're not that important. So look, so she was a regional bank manager there, and so she would have to travel. She would have to travel around to different, branches. And so one day she was at one of her branches that was towards the uppermost point of the tip of Tennessee, and she was in there working with some of her tellers, doing something, and a guy was in the branch with him, and he came in to make a deposit, pay a mortgage. He was just doing something, right? And they were the girls were having a conversation with my aunt, and they were talking about something spooky that had happened, right? This guy was Been there several times. They all knew him. He always kept to himself.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.